Morning at 7. If you're in the downtown neighborhood, get ready for some traffic slowdowns this weekend. We'll show you where to watch out for those delays. And another Colorado meatpacking plant has employees threatening to leave the job. How Denver Processing is responding to the authorized strike. Plus, the DMV is cracking down on temporary tags, but they're issuing fines to some people who don't deserve them. How they're getting those late fees reversed, coming up. We begin with a live look over the Front Range this morning from Coors Field. A cold start to the day out there with some clouds lingering in the sky. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Evan Krugel. Let's get right over to Weather Impact Team meteorologist Jaden Knowles. Jaden, good morning. To grab that jacket and potentially that raincoat later this week.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's a perfect toss right there, Evan. I mean, perfect toss. You've been listening to the weather forecast all morning. I like that. Yeah, we are seeing those cool and chilly temperatures to start this morning thanks to a cold front that we saw just last night. So look at these temperatures. We're in the low 30s, 34 degrees at Centennial, 41 at the airport, and then also 35 degrees here in downtown Denver. So temperatures statewide is a lot cooler than what we saw just yesterday morning thanks to that strong cold front that came through. And you probably felt it if you were out and about last night. Winds really started to ramping up, but luckily we're not talking about those gusty conditions this afternoon. So the next 12 hours, really not warming up a whole lot. I really don't even have a lot of sunshine in my forecast, really just continuing with the mostly cloudy conditions. So my high today, only 59 degrees, but those rain chances really starting to increase, especially as we head into your Sunday and into next week. We'll talk all about that and break it down much more in detail later on in the show. Evan?
Jaden, thank you. Developing overnight, Denver police responded to a reported carjacking in an apartment complex off South Quebec Street. This happened just before 2 o'clock this morning. When police got there, they say a suspect fired at officers but missed. Officers then returned fire, critically injuring that suspect. DPD, CSP, and CBI are now conducting a joint investigation. We will update you as soon as we learn more details. Also developing this morning, Thornton police are investigating the death of a woman that's now being ruled a homicide. Police did a welfare check on a woman who had not been seen for a couple of days, then found her dead inside her home. Thornton police sent 9 News a press release last night. They say her death likely happened between 9 p.m. Wednesday night and 10:30 Friday morning. They haven't released her identity just yet. If you're driving by the Civic Center this weekend, there will be some road closures as crews work in that area. From now until Sunday night, crews will fully close 14th Street between Court Place and Colfax Avenue. That's marked in purple there on your screen. Crews will be working on the Webb building. Drivers can take Tremont Place to Colfax Avenue or take Court Place up to Broadway. Also in that general area, Dottie is replacing a section of stormwater infrastructure. This will require the closure of 2 eastbound lanes of Colfax Avenue between Cherokee and Lincoln Streets. 1 travel lane will remain open. 2 lanes on southbound Broadway will also be closed. This work started at 7 o'clock last night and will continue until 5 o'clock Monday morning. Red sludge shows just how close the Fort Collins pond fire got to homes. This fire started burning just before 5 yesterday evening and spread to about 9 acres. Air support was needed to fight the fire. Poudre Fire Authority says the wind caused it to move faster than it normally would. It got so close to a neighborhood that fire retardant ended up in people's backyards. We spoke with some people who had to evacuate right away.
It was hard. It was hard. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, this is your house.
Yeah, scary scene there. A firefighter with the Larimer County Sheriff's Office did burn his arm fighting this. The good news, he is out of the hospital and they say he's doing okay this morning. Poudre Fire Authority says the cause of that fire is still under investigation. A former funeral home owner in southern Colorado who hid nearly 200 decomposing bodies has been sentenced to 30 years in prison. Carrie Halfords was one of a few key cases that exposed major gaps in oversight and led to sweeping changes in how the state regulates funeral homes. 2.5 years ago, Colorado was one of the least regulated funeral home states in the entire country. Since then, lawmakers have passed sweeping changes, including requiring routine inspections, setting facility standards, and creating a licensing system for funeral workers.
We were literally the only state out of all 50 states that did not license our funeral home professionals. There wasn't enough oversight and there wasn't enough standardization of the profession.
That licensing requirement officially takes effect in 2027. Lawmakers are also introducing more bills this session, including expanding public access to inspection records and requiring coroners to disclose financial ties to funeral homes. A combined hotel and nightclub can operate in some capacity again after the city of Denver ordered closed earlier this month. Denver's Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection ordered the Native Hotel and Gatsby Social on Wazee Street to shut down back on April 10th. They say this was based on over 800 violations of the fire code. Denver Fire lifted the stop work order a few days later after the business made some changes. Native's hotel and food licenses are no longer suspended, and the liquor license suspension will be lifted this weekend. The cabaret license, however, which all nightclubs have to get in Denver, is still suspended while the disciplinary process plays out or until they agree to a settlement, so no dancing or live music is allowed, at least for the time being. A hearing is scheduled for May 15th. Workers at another meatpacking plant in Colorado are threatening to walk off the job. The union that represents employees at Denver Processing says members just voted to authorize a strike. This is a subsidiary of JBS, which you may recall owns a plant up in Greeley, where nearly 4,000 workers went on strike last month. That strike lasted for 3 weeks. A spokesperson for JBS says they're disappointed in the decision, saying, quote, the latest strike by UFCW Local 7 raises serious concerns about whether their focus is truly on achieving the best outcomes for employees or on creating unnecessary disruption. Teachers in Sheridan schools could return to their classrooms as soon as Monday, following a 3-week strike. However, this is not a done deal just yet. Yesterday, the Sheridan Educators Association said their members unanimously voted to ratify a tentative agreement with the district, which was announced late Thursday night. They've been working without a contract since last August. This agreement reinstates the union's contract through the end of the year. It also includes a path for other staff members to join.
Wanted the classified, which are the janitors, cooks, the gardeners, the landscaping, maintenance, all of those bus drivers are all included in that to be a part of their union.
Says its members will return to their classrooms after the school board approves the agreement. The next school board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday.
And we're encouraging the school board to make their decision today, tomorrow, this weekend if possible, so that we can be there Monday.
We did ask the district if there are any plans for the school board to hold a vote before that Tuesday meeting. We're still waiting to hear back. Denver Public Schools has a new policy meant to protect students, families, and employees from immigration enforcement on their campuses. The school board unanimously voted on Thursday to add language to their student conduct, discipline, and attendance policy. It prevents any federal immigration agency from access to property, records, or recordings without a warrant signed by a federal judge and approved by a DPS attorney. It also prohibits the district from collecting, maintaining, or disclosing information about the immigration status of students or families unless they're required to by a court order or law.
We've seen a lot of fear in our immigrant population, and we've seen a significant decrease in attendance rates. So the hope is that our immigrant population will return back to school, feel and know that they are safe within our school buildings.
The policy also requires employees to undergo training on this new policy and have it prominently posted.